Negative, Ghost Rider.
I know what's wrong with it. Ain't got no gas in it.
There's Dougie. What's going
What's that?
on? What's that?
That was good.
Preservation of capital is more important than making money. You want to lock in your trades, and you also want to protect your downside at the same time.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. As promised, we are here early today for the FOMC meeting at 2 p.m. sharp. They will be releasing, the Federal Reserve will be releasing their live decision via a press release on what they're going to do with the interest rates. And we're going to attempt to listen to it live. I don't know how well it will work. I would think, it says it's connected, waiting for audio. All right, so they're not saying anything at the moment. I don't know if this is going to work. I'll have to try to figure it out on the fly if it doesn't. Anyway, at 2 p.m. they will release the results of their decision, whether they're raising interest rates, lowering interest rates, leaving them unchanged, whatever. And there'll be a statement attached to that on the reasonings why. At 2:30 p.m., Chairman Powell, the Fed Reserve Chairman, will take the podium. He will read a brief statement, and he will take questions from financial reporters from around the world. So expect a possible dramatic movement in the market. I have the S&P 500 up here. You will actually see that move within seconds at 2 o'clock before we actually hear what the press release was. They get that news before we do, so it will be released quicker. You'll see a market reaction if there's going to be one. Also expect around 2:30, 2:35-ish or so, again, for another possible period of volatility. You should not be trading if you're a new trader. This is a highly volatile. This is just as volatile as trading during the market open or towards the end of market close. I would encourage everybody to paper trade and see if you can make any profit on the movement. All right. So we basically, the world is expecting a 0.25% interest rate cut. So that won't be a surprise if it happens, but the market will react. Usually there is a knee-jerk reaction to the news. It may go wild initially and then pull back. So don't expect it to continue moving one way as it normally doesn't. There's always that knee-jerk reaction. So glad you could be here with us today. My name is Mark McSee. I'm one of the moderators here at American Dream Trading. Glad to have you with us today. So if you're here today and you can hear, I don't know if you'll be able to hear the FOMC results live here. I'm going to attempt to feed it through this computer. I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll find out. All right. So if not, I'll be able to read the announcements off on the live here. So just making sure. Can't believe I haven't heard anything yet, so I might have a setting or something right here for it to hear it. I don't know. I'm going to check my other settings here real quick, but don't know. I think it's right, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So we'll see. If it doesn't matter if we can't hear it. And then I'm at 2:30. I'm going to attempt to actually watch the news conference via the interwebs. Usually there's a high volume on it, so it may get laggy. I don't know. We'll see. If not, it's no big deal. We'll just do like we normally do and read the news off the wire, the news wire live as it happens. So, all right. Let's see here. We should be good there. One of the reasons why you may not be able to hear it, I might have to go this route. Hang on here 1 minute. I am going to open up another page here and see if I can. Hang on 1 minute. I didn't think about doing this here, but let's see what happens here. All right. here to this when we're waiting around here. That page there. We'll see what happens here. All right. So, anyhow, 2 o'clock is coming up close here in about 4 minutes. We'll see what happens here. All right. I don't know if I'll be able to do this here the way I want to do it, but we'll find out here real quick. Because I am the host on this other system, so it might be overriding the other one for sharing sounds, because I'm not. Let me see here. Yeah, that's the issue. All right. So hopefully this website will load up, and I'll be able to get in here to my Bazinga Pro and go with that, and we'll see what happens here. All right, let me get this Squawk Box fired up here. Once all this crap loads up, I got so much stuff on my screen here. This is what I use. This is Bazinga Pro. It's a big news source that we use. It's a paid membership type of thing. It's fantastic. If you ever have the chance to use it, I would highly suggest you get a subscription to it. It's not inexpensive, though.
81,
Hello.
48 cents, $60.63. Gold is up 25.40 at 4,850. Bitcoin futures down 1,945 at 111,800.
That is the Bazinga guy. Can you hear him or not?
Yeah, we heard him that time.
Now that was probably feeding back through my microphone. We'll see here. I don't know if I need this system or my other system. We'll wait and see here. All right. All right, so I'm going to close this one here out real quick. So, watch, I would highly recommend that you watch ES here.
CMBM, Cambium Networks resuming trade after a circuit breaker halt. Charlie Michael Bravo Michael.
You heard that? All right, do you see my MES screen, everybody?
Right now up 335%.
Okay. Viewers at home, do you see this?
CMBM.
Paid members, all right.
Don't say that.
You can hear the Squawk Box now?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Affirmative.
We're a minute and a half almost away from he'll read it out loud what the news release says, so it'll be a slight delay. So I just ask you keep your mics muted while he's talking, at least for the first 5 minutes or so. I'll mute it after that because he'll be calling out different things. So he'll read the statement and he'll kind of give his synopsis of the sentences that he's reading, and you'll hear him talk. So his voice is very distinctive. I like this guy here. Sometimes they have different people that do it, but this is the regular main guy. The head guy, I guess. I don't know who he is. It doesn't matter. So I do have the Fed Watch up on YouTube now. Again, will it connect? That'll be ready to be seen. If not, we're not going to worry about it. So I will try it, though.
1 minute to the Fed rate decision.
There you go. 1 minute.
Seeing the Kenview March $18 calls trading now, KVUE.
He's also calling out stock news and different things like that. So we will go quiet for the first few minutes of the news release at the top of the hour. And if you've never experienced an FOMC meeting, this is your chance here. So we'll just listen. Yes, we're expecting a rate cut, but so the market may be take it as a nothing burger, as we like to call it, and as Justin called it, right? So it's already priced in. So we'll see. There's usually a knee-jerk reaction. See if you can catch the trade, right? Can't tell you whether it's going up or down. We don't know, so you got to be prepared. How quick are you on your paper trading account? 4 seconds. Now, he's about 10 seconds behind, so here we go. There's a market reaction instantly before
Fed lowers discount rate 0.25 points to 4%.
There you go.
Fed
Should
changed
be a
the
good
Fed
one.
funds rate from 4% to 3.75%, voted 10-2 for the Fed funds rate action. Mirren dissented in favor of a 0.5 point cut. Schmidt dissented in favor of holding rates steady. Fed to end runoff of securities portfolio December 1st. Fed to roll maturing treasuries back into market. Roll maturing mortgage bonds into T-bills. Again, Fed cutting by 0.25%.
Now he's going to digest the rest of it and give little blurbs. You can see there was a shoot up there, but it's pulled back already. So it was as expected. So there's no surprises here. For those of you trading at home, you'll notice your margin rates got jacked up due to the high volatility. And the overall market,
S&P futures volatile here right now.
we already knew
Up
that.
about 13. Holding fairly steady.
NQ, ES, Russell, which is the one that's most interested in this, is all to the upside. The Dow, not as much. We don't see a big of a reaction. It did have a reaction, but not near as big. All right. So we know with Webull, our intraday margin rates are increased from 1 to 3 p.m. for the next hour. Oil's getting a little bump. As expected, the metals are going down, right? Gold, right? Why is that? Why is gold going down when the indices are going up? Well, there's no fear, or there's less fear now, right? Interest rates were cut. So again, another initial reaction. Gold is going down. It's doing the inverse of what the indices are doing. Markets see that as good news. So people that are trading gold don't need to be trading gold. They could trade the indices and make their money there because the fear index has dropped, right? A little bit. It's still high. Now, gold did bounce down. Now it is popping up. So just when you thought you knew what was happening, look at that. Bang, bang. Look at that. Gee, Christmas. There you go. That's on a 1 minute candle also. Look at that money.
CYCU, Cycurian secures Florida State term contract to power next generation government IT transformation. CYCU.
All right, we'll give him, he's probably done what he's going to read in here. We'll give him another minute or two just to make sure. He's not going to mention anything else, so we'll mute him for a while, and then we'll see if we can actually get the live feed of Fed Chairman Powell actually speaking. I expect a lot of, it's a highly watched thing, so there may be a lot of buffering involved. I don't know. We'll see. If it is, we're not going to worry about it. We'll just listen in. He will give, he'll listen to what's being said, questions being asked, and then he'll just kind of...
S&P futures now pulling back.
That's what we're looking at. Well, that isn't what we're looking at. There's the S&P. There we go. Knee-jerk reaction. Now they're back to business as usual, right? I would expect a lot of volatility for a while. Those of you paper trading, are you doing okay? Were you able to react fast enough? It went up just when you thought it was going to keep going up. It went down, right? And then it pulled back up. When it's all said and done, I wouldn't
Shares of Cycurian popping on that contract news, CYCU.
I would not be surprised to expect it to hear in the next couple minutes to be exactly where it was at. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Good. Hey, MYT, how's it going? We're listening to the FOMC meeting that happened at the top of the hour. They released their findings, and they are going to cut interest rates by 0.25%. Good job. One of our members just posted. He made $610.45 on that trade. Outstanding. That's how we do it here at American Dream Trading. Right. We love trading the news, especially when it's scheduled. That's how we make a lot of money here. I love trading economic news in the morning at 8:30, when they usually are, when we had them. Of course, the government shut down, so we don't hear them at 8:30 like we were. So this here was planned. We knew about it months ahead of time that this day was going to arrive, right? And we were able to capitalize on it because American Dream Trading membership, paid members, are trained how to react and what to do and how to interpret the news and how to capitalize financially immediately, very quickly, just like that. Bang, bang. One of our members just posted his P&L. He made $610 just on that news. That's how we do it. Congratulations, sir. I'm typing random numbers into the chat there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and mute Mr. Bazinga here, so we don't have to listen to him calling out stock stuff. This is a very nice service if you've never seen it before, Bazinga. I highly recommend you go see it. Bazinga Pro is the name of the program I have. It provides all kinds. It's fully customizable, and you can do whatever you want. And feeds as far as news and everything goes. Very nice. We make money. There's a lot of us members here at American Dream Trading that have a subscription to this, and we use it to help our other members that don't have it make money on stock news release as it happens.
CYCU halted on a circuit breaker at the highs now. $4.27 CYCU.
92. There we go. Now that should stop him from talking. So the next thing we want to look at here is hopefully we're going to get the live feed pop up over here. I'm going to actually use a YouTube channel to be better than the actual federal government site itself. And of course, it'll be a delayed rebroadcast of the thing as live as it happens. But I've been on, if you get in early on the Fed site, you don't get rejected as many, right? Because they can only, it's a government website. Their interwebs ain't very good.
Go get this done.
Yeah, so anyhow. All right, good. Anybody else capitalize on that? Who made money on that news? Right now we're back into chop. So, and Q did the pull. It's also kind of mimicking ES, right? And Q is a little bit more violent about it. The Dow, it had a little reaction, and it's right back down to staying down around that $48,000 level. The Russell, which is really dependent on lower interest rates, they're just small cap companies. Our members made quite a bit of money off the Russell today. You can see their anticipation how it went to the moon today earlier. Had a lot of members make money on that also. And of course, you see the initial knee-jerk reaction to the news, right? Over here. Spread that out a little bit. All right. And our highly educated members who know better stayed out of the market. Trade the news after it happens, not trying to do it while it happens. Sometimes is the best play. No play is the best play, right? Most of the time, that helps you from wrecking your account. That's why we say don't trade the first half hour of the market. Don't trade in the last half hour, especially the last 10 minutes. And, trade the news, right? Wait for the news there. Now, if you're a really good scalper, you can lock in those trades while it happens. But you got to know what you're doing. You got to be very, shall I say, bold in you're confident in your mechanics on conducting trades that quickly, trying to lock in, get out, right? It takes nerves of steel to do something like that. It's best just to sit out. The market will probably move nicely one way or the other over the next couple days. We find that to be true. Thursday and Friday ought to be, nice money-making days. I'm not saying the market's going up or down. I'm just saying, from past experience, 3 years of doing this, that usually the first few days after major news like this, the markets tend to reward you nicely, whether it's the market's going down or the market's going up. I guarantee you one thing, that our highly trained paid membership will know what to do with the markets for the remainder of the week. So now we're good to go. We got that out of the way. Now, next event here that will be a little bit hostile, where you'll see possibly a high volatility, is when Fed Chairman Powell goes to the podium at 2:30. He's scheduled to. Sometimes he's dead on time. Other times there's a few minutes delay. Once in a while, protesters will sneak in there and cause a commotion, make things interesting. So you never know what's going to happen. It's kind of hilarious sometimes. But you'll hear him read his official written statement of what we just heard. And it usually lasts a few minutes. And then he'll start taking questions, which he doesn't know what they are. And the markets will hang on every single word that comes out of his mouth. If he would happen to misspeak, which he's a highly educated professional speaker, he knows what to say, how to answer questions. But if he says something, somebody asks him a pointed question, he may say something the markets don't really like. It depends how good the questions are. One thing you will find, and this is what I find hilarious by listening to the actual broadcast, I find it entertaining, is you wonder how some of these journalists got their degrees, because some of the questions they ask are just plain silly. I could have asked them questions, right? They're just over the top, don't make no sense. It's like, you already, duh, why are you even asking that question? Are you serious? You really ask? So it could actually be pretty entertaining depending on what journalists are there. Obviously, you're going to have the big news organizations there and all the big financial news stations, and then with their the face of the channel type people there at those meetings to ask Chairman Powell questions. So you pretty much know those guys will ask pretty decent questions, but they'll answer questions from journalists all over the world, from places you never heard of, and news organizations you never heard of, and newspapers and TV stations and stuff. So, you know, everybody gets their chance to a certain point, right? And it's the longer it goes, the more entertaining it is, because then they start talking to some of these other journalists that nobody knows who they are, but they have a press pass and they're allowed in there to ask questions, right? And Mr. Powell will answer those questions. The other thing I want you to listen to is the actual words that come out of Mr. Powell's mouth. You'll find, and this is not a disparaging thing, but he'll talk out of both sides of his mouth, right? He'll say, well, it's this, but it's that, right? So kind of just, you know, just to kind of make sure the markets don't overreact to one side or the other, right? So very guarded on how they say things. It's not like he hasn't thought these things out ahead of time, what possible questions, because he's going to go into detail how and why they arrived at their decision and what they're going to do with, you know, economic easing. You know, are they going to pay off more debt? They're going to pay off less debt. What are they going to do with the treasury bonds, right? Those type of things. So you will hear that. I will help try to, I'm no expert by any means, but I will try to do my best, if we can get the live feed, to interpret in 5 words what he says in 25 words. I know that's hard to believe as much as I ramble on, but I'll try to say it in plain English what he's saying, right? I may not be successful all the time. And there's things that they say I have no clue what it means, but I'll do my best. There may be other members in here that understand what he's saying better than what I do sometimes. But I'll give it the old college try, even though I only went to college for a while. I didn't get a degree or anything. So, all right. Andrew said he made $15K today. Congratulations. Fantastic day. That's how we do it around here, right? Good job. All right. Good to see Brandon. Well, he paper traded. He gave up $22 in that. So, thank you, Mark, for the kind words. Yeah, we like to try to do this, make this a regular thing. A lot of people, we have actually paid members here that have never experienced this, so we kind of wanted to do it for them also, and for our free people that are watching for free. You may have never experienced it.
And about buying food or anything. Okay.
Okay. You want to buy food, Pistol? Okay, your mic's open. Thank you for that. So it's, if you've never experienced before, you should always broaden your horizons, right? You know, if you're going to be day trading or be an investor, it's good to expose yourself to these things. Some people may find it dry and boring and would just rather watch the evening news or read about it on the interwebs, right? The 3-minute article, right? Just tell me what he said. What's that mean to me, kind of thing, right? And that's fine too, right? I just find it interesting and educational personally to listen to them as much as you can. Now, we don't always get a chance to do that, but I personally find it interesting. And it's just a look behind another curtain, right, on what goes on and how these news conferences work, right? So, you know, we know how Mr. T talks and how his news conferences are, but it's also good to hear somebody else speak once in a while, right? So, and I'm sure there'll be tweets thrown out about the decisions and all that stuff. So that can also, world leaders replying or making comments on the X and then all their social medias, that also can move the market. So it may not just necessarily be what the Fed chairman says, right? It can be anybody. It could be a world leader. You know, the leader of France could get on there and say something, you know, or our leader, obviously, right? So there's a lot of things that could happen over the next hour or so, right, that could drive these markets. So it can be very interesting, right, to watch these things play out. You know, those you are on other social media feeds that people tend to post their opinions on that are famous or maybe world leaders, you might want to monitor them. You might see some interesting things there also. So it's not, we're in a connected world now, so anything could happen, right? We've seen it. One tweet can make the market go up or down at times. And that's just a fact of life. It's just the way it is. Even though they're cutting rates, well, you know, look at the market. It's going down right now. Is that some profit taking? I would guess it is, because markets did nothing but go pretty much up today, right? it's been edging down as we got closer to the meeting, right? ES did pull, but it was very volatile. There was a lot of upswings and downswings, so it was a little crazy. I didn't trade ES today. I traded gold early this morning. Matter of fact, I didn't even do a trade after 9:30 this morning. Made all my money starting at 2 a.m. this morning. I woke up, so I got up and started trading. I traded gold. Gold was very nice to me this morning. If you go back and look around the 2 a.m., this is micro gold, but same difference. I was trading GC, which is the E-mini version of the big boy version of gold versus the micro version. I love gold, trading gold. It can be very rewarding financially, and it can also wreck your account in a hurry. So it's not for the faint of heart, especially here in the last few months. It's been very volatile. Just as volatile, if not at times, as trading the NASDAQ. So you can see I got in, let's see here, it was about 2 a.m. Let me put a marker on here. It was a few minutes after 2. I made my first trade. I got in there and was fortunate enough to get in there as this happened and rode this bad boy all the way up. And I was trading my large account, and I did very well today. And I did some down trades and up trades on all around here and there, some scalps. But I was pretty much done trading at 5 a.m. this morning. And I did so well, I didn't feel the need to give any of that back like I usually do by over trading, right? If you have a good day, a green day, stop for all say. It's good for your mental well-being to go ahead and lock in that green day and enjoy the rest of the day. Matter of fact, one of our members said he was going fishing. He didn't care what the weather was. There's no such thing as a bad day of fishing, right? The old saying, right? So take advantage of those times when you can. You have a great day, reward yourself. It doesn't have to be financially. Just take the day off and go enjoy yourself, right? Go smell the roses. Do what it is you like to do, right? Life gets busy, and sometimes we just don't have time to go do things, right? We get pulled in so many directions in life, right? So what direction is gold taking? Well, gold's to the downside. Gold's been to the downside all day. Downtrend. Well, it went up early market, but it's been pretty much downtrend all day today. I mean, it's been volatile at times, right? It pulled real heavy at the open because it went up so high during the pre-market, and that's expected. If it's up in the pre-market, we can expect profit taking at market open. That's what they did. And then they drove the price up. They thought that was a good buying opportunity, and they sold off, and it's been down the rest of the day because the indices were going up, right? So, and the FOMC meeting, just that cloud hanging over the markets, that also makes the markets do some crazy things also, right? Increases volatility. We was watching the Dow earlier. The Dow was like a snooze fest today, right? There for the longest time, it was just kind of flat and unexciting. Now, you can see, it didn't have no ginormous swings, right? It did go up at the open, but it just kind of, if you look at the overall big picture of it, it really, it wasn't nothing to write home to mom about. Look how flat it was for the longest time. And then we started getting the movement, a little bit of movement here, starting around 12:30-ish time period. It started on a downward trend. It didn't even have that large of a reaction to the news, right? It did. It moved, but nothing like the NQ, like the NASDAQ and the S&P did, right? And as you can see, all this bouncing around and showboating, the S&P and the NASDAQ done, where's it at? Pretty much right where it was at before 2 o'clock, right? So that's why there's usually a knee-jerk reaction, and if you can capitalize on that quick, you can make a lot of money, right? If you happen to be on the right side of the trade. But it's not one you want to set in for any length of time. It's a short, sweet scalp. Get that green, get out, right? You're not going to sit there and wait all day to see what happens, because this is what happens, right? So hopefully you learned that, right? So we'll see what happens here at 2:30. I don't know. I'm going to have to look at the live feed here and see if it pops up here from time to time. Like usually that'll load up a like waiting type of thing here. So let me see here. I need to refresh this screen. And see here. Let me refresh this YouTube screen. I was going to do directly from the Fed Reserve, but I've gotten in that before, and it's just so laggy because everybody and their brother's logging into it, and right there it is. They got a static page up right now. Let me get that loaded up. At least I'll have it in there. And when you know it has music. And let me mute that. You can't see it on the screen. Let me switch this around here so you can see how this looks on the screen here temporarily. Excuse me for a minute. My flip things around. I'll kill that music here in a second. There we go. There we go. How's that look? Can you see that? Obviously, our Zoom, you can't see that right yet, correct?
No can do.
Okay, I have to switch screens sharing for you guys. Waiting on TikTok to catch up to see if they can see it or not. Hang on here a minute. YouTube can see it. Oh, I got to switch. Yeah, see, I got to switch these individually. Hang on here a minute. So I'll have to unhide that. So that should be here. And that should unhide that here in a second. Hang on, TikTok. You get the button to recognize my mouse clicked here. There we go. All right, so we'll be able to see that this is what we're going to see starting at 2:30. I'll switch back and forth. I just want to make sure it worked. I could see it. One thing I do got to kill is that sound. That's going to get on my nerves in a hurry. Hang on one moment, please. Should be a mute button here that I can kill the sound of that somewhere.
Your voice is very choppy, Mark.
Yeah, I got a lot of things running here. It's probably pushing the resources of my system here that I'm using. How's that? Is that better? Better? Worse? Better?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, it's going to
Could be
tax
good.
my system here because I got too many things running, but that's all right. Once this news conference starts here at 2:30, we'll watch that live. That's in about another 7 minutes or so if it starts on time. But we're in anyway, so that's a good thing. All right. So I'm going to take a look at the markets. If there's anything exciting happen, I'll switch the screens, but I'm just going to leave this web page loaded up here so I don't have to keep switching things back and forth. All I have to do is switch it for, well, I'll just go ahead and switch that now, guys. All right. I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen sharing for you so that way we know it's up and you can see it. All right. Hang on here. Stand by for the next available representative. That would be there, I think. And you should be able to see the YouTube there, right? Now on the Zoom.
Got it. Yep.
All right. I'll just go ahead and leave it there. Call out anything you may see. We'll just, if there's anything beneficially moving. I have my mini screens up here on my other system here, so I can monitor there also. Right now, everything's just channeling. It's just kind of flat. The Russell is still to the downside. It's fighting below VWAP. The Dow is also down. Now we're getting a pull on NQ and ES also. Part of that may have to do with the chairman getting ready to speak. Gold is dropping like a rock also to the downside. Everything is pulling as we speak right now. Get in them trades if you can make money on it. Again, remember, this is just like trading at market open right now. Things are going to be very volatile. Don't expect it to continue the same way that you see it going now. So if you're not an experienced trader, you should not be trading between now and at least 3 p.m. today, right? Matter of fact, just stay out of the market the rest of the day would be my recommendation, but I can't stop you from doing anything, right? All right, so, all right. What direction is gold taking now was asked earlier. I'm sorry I missed that earlier there, Persevig. Well, gold's going down at the moment. So does that mean it's going to continue to do that? I don't know, right? If markets see this as good news, gold may just continue. But gold's been marching to its own drummer here for quite a while, right? So it used to be there was a kind of an inverse relationship. If the market went up, people didn't feel the need to jump in there and buy a bunch of gold, so the prices usually dropped. But that has not been true since this whole tariff thing started months ago, right? Gold has just been going crazy. People have been jumping in, buying it up like a madman. So anyway, so we're just going to kind of chill out here a little bit. If anybody's got any comments or questions, especially our paid members, feel free to open your mic. If not, we will wait. the big pull that I just mentioned is now turned back to green candles. It's coming right back up to where it was when it pulled. So there is a lot of volatility in the markets right now. All right. Gold is still continuing to pull, though. Nice stair stepping down. Doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. All right. So the dollar index is also climbing, which means the currency markets would be going down. And I can see, looking at my screen, the euro is in fact doing that right now. I don't know about Ralph. Are you there? Is the Australian dollar going down also? I don't have that one up on my screen here. But the Dow or the euro is going down, right? The U.S.
Yeah,
dollar.
they both are pulling.
Okay, thank you, sir. Dollar index is getting stronger, so that makes the currency markets go down. Weak dollar drives the currency markets up. So there is a boost there, right? So we're about approximately 3 minutes away from Chairman Powell taking the podium. He's scheduled to, at least. We'll see what happens here. Again, it may not pop up here exactly at 2:30 Eastern time at the bottom of the half hour here, about 3 minutes, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how this even transmits to you guys live. If it's all choppy and stuff, I'm not gonna sit here and carry on with it. But I hope it does work okay. We'll see. All right. We shall see. All right. Comments, questions over there. What do you have questions about the FOMC over there on our live free feeds over there? By the way, if you haven't yet, you head over to our website, American Dream Trading. You'll find all kinds of different promotions going on. We still are carrying on with our 3 programs where you can get free 7 days trial membership. We have our premium with Coach and the other trading moderators starting at 8:45 a.m. Monday through Friday through 4 p.m. We have our crypto, which is 7:15 p.m. on Wednesday nights with the live training, and they also have other pop-up Zooms. And then we have our 7-day free trial on our futures program, which we start training and trading live together in a Zoom call at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday. Go grab them free trials now and get a look behind the curtain of what all we really do. Because what we show you here on these lives is just but the tip of the iceberg. Hey, Zeus wants to know what's the plays. Well, you'll have to figure that out on your own based on training. It can go up, it can go down, it can go sideways. We'll see. The market reacted to it. If the markets are pulling, they're taking profits. They're kind of flat right now, but Mr. Powell's getting ready to speak here in about a minute and a half or so. Less than a minute and a half. He's scheduled to take the podium and make his opening remarks. And then he'll start taking questions. So once why he's making his remarks at 2:30, if he starts on time, as soon as he starts talking, expect volatility in the markets, the potential. 1 minute. All right. So we'll see. If this is choppy, I can always go back to my Bazinga and just listen to the overview of what they think he's saying. So
You sound perfect, but
all right. Thank you. All right, I'm going to turn the sound on here in case he pops out. Hopefully, there ain't music still playing. And there is. That's all right. We'll listen. Well, I better not, because this night might be copyrighted music. Who knows? Get a strike with YouTube. Something silly like that. Yeah, so we can't offer any play. This is a highly volatile time in the market. Anytime there's an FOMC meeting, it can potentially be one of the most volatile days of the quarter. So if you're not an experienced trader, you need to stay out of the markets. And today would be a good day to stay out of the markets. So we're waiting on the YouTube live feed to switch to the podium here. It is now 2:30, and we'll see how long it takes for him to switch the feed. So please stand by for Fed Chairman Powell to begin his conference. Usually they start on time, but not always. I'll turn this Bazinga back on here just temporarily so we can hear it. Yeah, of course, it's not loaded now. Figures. Hang on. Oh, it completely closed? What happened there? All right. This hogs resources, so I'm careful here.
He's
Very
walking
good.
up to the podium.
Thank you.
Come to the podium.
All right, let me get rid of this.
Stand.
God, bless America. This thing's freezing up on me now. This loads. I should never click that.
There he is.
I can't move my mouse. This thing's froze up at the moment. Here we go. All right. Sorry, folks. Hasn't showed up on the YouTube yet. There it is.
Economic developments. Available indicators suggest that economic activity has been expanding at a moderate pace. GDP rose at a 1.6% pace in the first half of the year, down from 2.4% last year. Data available prior to the shutdown show that growth in economic activity may be on a somewhat firmer trajectory than expected, primarily reflecting stronger consumer spending. Business investment in equipment and intangibles has continued to expand, while activity in the housing sector remains weak. The shutdown of the federal government will weigh on economic activity while it persists, but these effects should reverse after the shutdown ends. In the labor
YouTube,
market,
TikTok,
the
can you hear?
unemployment rate remained relatively low
Type of one
through
if you can.
August. Job gains have slowed significantly since earlier in the year. A good part of the slowing likely reflects a decline in the growth of the labor force.
Thank you.
Due to lower immigration and labor force participation, though labor demand has clearly softened as well. Although official employment data for September are delayed, available evidence suggests that both layoffs and hiring remain low, and that both households' perceptions of job availability and firms' perceptions of hiring difficulty continue to decline. In this less dynamic and somewhat softer labor market, the downside risks to employment appear to have risen in recent months. Inflation has eased significantly from its highs in mid-2022, but remains somewhat elevated relative to our 2% longer-run goal. Estimates based on the Consumer Price Index suggest that total PCE prices rose 2.8% over the 12 months ending in September, and that, excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 2.8% as well. These readings are higher than earlier in the year as inflation for goods has picked up. In contrast, disinflation appears to be continuing for services. Near-term measures of inflation expectations have moved up on balance over the course of this year on news about tariffs, as reflected in both market and survey-based measures. Beyond the next year or two or so, however, most measures of longer-term expectations remain consistent with our 2% inflation goal. Our monetary policy actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. At today's meeting, the committee decided to lower the target range for the federal funds rate by a 1/4 percentage point to 3 3/4 to 4%. Higher tariffs are pushing up prices in some categories of goods, resulting in higher overall inflation. A reasonable base case is that the effects on inflation will be relatively short-lived, a one-time shift in the price level. But it is also possible that the inflationary effects could instead be more persistent, and that is a risk to be assessed and managed. Our obligation is to ensure that a one-time increase in the price level does not become an ongoing inflation problem. In the near term, risks to inflation are tilted to the upside and risks to employment to the downside. A challenging situation. There is no risk-free path for policy as we navigate this tension between our employment and inflation goals. Our framework calls for us to take a balanced approach in promoting both sides of our dual mandate. With downside risks to employment having increased in recent months, the balance of risks has shifted. Accordingly, we judged it appropriate at this meeting to take another step toward a more neutral policy stance. With today's decision, we remain well positioned to respond in a timely way to potential economic developments. We will continue to determine the appropriate stance of monetary policy based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook,
And the markets went up,
and the
now they're
balance of
pulling.
risks. We continue to face
God.
two-sided risks.
Big time.
In the committee's discussions at this
On that
meeting,
one sentence.
there were strongly differing views about how to proceed in December. A further reduction in the policy rate at the December meeting is not a foregone conclusion. Far from it. Policy is not on a preset course. At today's meeting, the committee also decided to conclude the reduction of our aggregate securities holdings as of December 1. Our long-stated plan has been to stop balance sheet runoff when reserves are somewhat above the level we judge consistent with ample reserve conditions. Signs have clearly emerged that we have reached that standard. In money markets, repo rates have moved up relative to our administered rates, and we have seen more notable pressures on selected dates, along with more use of our standing repo facility. In addition, the effective federal funds rate has begun to move up relative to the rate of interest on reserve balances. These developments are what we expected to see as the size of our balance sheet declined and warrant today's decision to cease runoff. Over the 3.5 years that we've been shrinking our balance sheet, our securities holdings have declined by $2.2 trillion. As a share of nominal GDP, our balance sheet has fallen from 35% to about 21%. In December, we'll enter the next phase of our normalization plans by holding the size of our balance sheet steady for a time, while reserve balances continue to move gradually lower as other non-reserve liabilities, such as currency, keep growing.
In other words, we're not going to issue more debt.
We will
We're
continue
going
to
to just
allow
let it
agency
sit for a
securities to
while.
run off our balance sheet, and we'll reinvest the proceeds from those securities in Treasury bills, furthering progress toward a portfolio consisting primarily of Treasury securities. This reinvestment strategy will also help move the weighted average maturity of our portfolio closer to that of the outstanding stock of Treasury securities, thus furthering the normalization of the composition of our balance sheet. The Fed has been assigned two goals for monetary policy: maximum employment and stable prices. We remain committed to supporting our maximum employment, bringing our inflation sustainably to our 2% goal, and keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our success in delivering on these goals matters to all Americans. We understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission. We at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you. I look forward to your questions.
Here comes the questions. Listen to the questions these people ask. It can be crazy sometimes.
Nick Timmeros of the Wall Street Journal. Chair Powell, are you uncomfortable with how market pricing has assumed a rate cut as a foregone conclusion at your next meeting?
Well, as I just mentioned, a further reduction in the policy rate at the December meeting is not a foregone conclusion, as I've just said. So
Because we don't know if we're going to cut rates
I would say
anymore.
that
That's why the
needs to be
market
taken
dumped
on board.
at one
We
sentence.
had, I would just say this, 19 participants on the committee. Everyone works very hard at this and takes their obligations to serve the American people very seriously. And at a time when we have tension between our two goals, we have, strong views across the committee. And as I mentioned, there were strongly differing views today. And the takeaway from that is that we haven't made a decision about December. And, we're going to be looking at the data that we have, how that affects the outlook and the balance of risks. And I'll just say that.
You and some of your colleagues have framed last month and maybe today, I won't put words in your mouth, there's a risk management exercise. At what point do you conclude that you've taken out enough insurance? Are you looking for some kind of improvement in the outlook? Or could this unfold along the lines of last year, where you made a sequence of adjustments and then waited to gather more information?
So the way I've been thinking about it is the risks to the two goals. For a very long time, the risk was clearly of higher inflation. And then that has changed now. And as we saw particularly after the July meeting, we saw the downward revisions in job creation, we saw a very different picture of the labor market, and it suggested that there were higher downside risks to the labor market than we had thought. And that suggested that policy, which we had been holding at a I would say modestly, others people would say moderately restrictive level, needed to move more in the direction over time of neutral. If the two goals are sort of equally at risk, then you ought to be at neutral, because one of them's calling for you to hike and one of them's calling for you to cut. So if that got back into balance, then you'd want to be roughly at neutral. So in that sense, it was a risk management. And I would say the same about today, sort of the same logic. But as I mentioned, going forward is a different thing.
Claire Jones, Financial Times. Thank you for taking this question. We've just
What are
heard
we
from
doing,
you
gang?
that the discussion in December and
We
the
watching
conclusion of the
TV?
discussion is not a foregone conclusion. I'd like to just dig
Yes,
into that.
we're
a little
watching
bit
the live
about
FOMC meeting,
what sort of
Coach.
arguments
Oh,
were brought
okay.
up.
Sounds
Was
like a
there
great
any
time.
consideration, for instance,
It's interesting.
of
It's educational.
the investment
What happened? Did they
seen in
drop
AI
quarter
and sort of
basis
the
points?
Yes, sir.
generation of household wealth through
But
rises in
the market, as soon as he said,
stock prices
we don't know if we're going
related
to cut rates
to
again in
AI.
December, the market went boink
You know, I
down.
wouldn't say that's
Oh, wow,
that's a
okay.
factor in everyone's assessment of the
So
economy.
we're
I
using
wouldn't
this
say
as
it's a
educational
driving
tool to
factor.
see what goes
I don't
into
think
all
for
this and
anybody.
answer how he
You
answers
know,
questions.
I guess I
and-
would say it this way. Once again, I would just point out that we have the situation where the risks are to the upside for
market's
inflation
total
and to
collapse
the
here.
downside for
Nice.
employment.
Because he said they
We
didn't
have
know
one
what we're going to
tool.
do in
You
December.
can't do both of those.
What
You
a
can't address both of those at
goofball.
once.
This
You've got a very
guy.
different
Fire his
situation. So
ass.
you have some people
I can't
who
wait
have
for this
different
turd to
forecasts,
be out
right?
of
So
here in
they'll-
what,
they'll-
April?
they'll
What a
feel-
piece of
they'll feel-
crap.
They'll forecast faster or slower.
The frick
progress
outta
one or the
here.
other. And they also have different levels of risk aversion. And, you know, people.
Got his
some
economics
will be
degree
more
from
averse to
frickin' adult education
inflation
where I went.
overruns, and some will be more averse to
The frick
underruns of
out.
employment.
Beat it.
And so you put that together, and as you can see from the SEP and from the public discussion that goes on between the meetings when more participants go out and talk, they're very disparate views, and they were reflected in strongly differing views in today's meeting. as I-
Listen
as
to
I
one more
pointed out in my
question, then we'll
remarks.
move on.
And that's what leads me to say that, that we
Move
haven't
on to the
made a
question of,
decision
should this guy
about
be fired or
about
not?
December, I always say that. It's a fact that we don't make decisions in advance, but this is
Le
saying something in
who,
addition here.
que sir.
That it's not to be seen as a foregone conclusion, in fact, far from it.
I just have a follow-up on
Yeah, that's
QT.
big
How
time.
much of the fund impressions we've seen in money markets are related to the U.S. Treasury issuing more short-term debt?
That could be one of the factors, but the reality
the
is we've
factors.
seen,
This
the
guy's such
things
a
that we've
bitch.
seen, higher repo rates and federal funds rate moving up. These are the
Dumbass.
very
He doesn't
things
even
that
know what
we
the
see- that we-
factors
that
are
we
at this
look for. We
point.
actually have a framework for looking at.
You know what? He's like, well, we'll go off of data that,
the
well,
place
I get
we're trying
maybe
to
not
reach.
the
What-
data,
what we
but
said
some data,
for a
not
long
that
time
data.
is that
I was going to give commentary,
we feel
Coach,
like
but
we're
yours
a
is
little
more
bit
entertaining.
above, what we consider a level that's ample, that we would
Canceled.
raise the size of the balance sheet. Of course, reserves will continue to decline from that.
Tell him
point
how you
forward as
really feel here,
non-reserve
Mark. Let him
liabilities
know.
Grow. So this
Same
happened.
way you do, bro.
Some things have been happening for some time now, showing a gradual tightening in money market conditions. Really, in the last, call it 3 weeks or so, you've seen
Yeah,
more
3
significant
weeks.
tightening, and I think a clear
The
assessment
last
that
3
we're at that
weeks.
place.
Last 3 weeks, the
The other
government's
thing
getting
is-
closed. There ain't no money moving nowhere.
The balance sheet is
Oh
shrinking
my
at a very,
gosh.
very slow pace now. We've
Oh, that's
reduced it
great.
by half
Trump, by the
twice.
way, said that we're looking at
And
like
so there's
$22
not
trillion
a lot of
or some
benefit
shit in his
to
first
be,
year, and he's
to be
like,
holding
well,
on to get
looks
the
like
last
we've
few
had some
dollars
money come in
because,
the last 3 weeks.
Again, the balance sheets, the reserves are going to continue to shrink as non.
Oh, that's my favorite.
There was support on the
He
committee.
just got another
as we thought
$1
about
trillion
it, to go ahead with
today on
and
this trip.
announce,
Did you see
Wow.
it?
effective December 1.
Asia
that we will
trip,
be
another
freezing
$1 trillion
the size of the balance sheet. And
to the
December
US.
1 date gives the markets a little
That's
bit
with a
of time to
T,
adapt.
ladies and gentlemen.
Colby.
All right, here's the last question, and then we're going to kill it.
Thank you, Colby Smith with the New York Times. So much of the rationale for cutting interest rates, even as inflation moves away from the 2% target, seems to be, that there are these mounting downside risks to the labor market. But if those don't materialize and the labor market either stabilizes around current employment levels or even starts to strengthen somewhat, how would that change your perception of how much interest rates need to fall from here? Would you then be a bit more concerned about underlying inflation and the possibility of second-round effects from tariffs?
Yeah, I mean, in
Oh,
principle, if you were to see data that suggested that the labor market's strengthening
Basic
or even that
ass
it's
questions.
stabilizing,
It's like,
that would
it's like
certainly
all
play
these-
into our
it's
decisions
like all the
going
kids in
forward.
basic
So, and we
econ
do
here
have, we
asking,
get some
"Sir,
data. The labor
I'm
market
a
is a place
first-year
where we
journalist."
get, for example, we
Yeah,
get the
well, that's what I
state-level
was
data
telling
on
them
initial
earlier.
claims,
Some,
which-
of course,
which
they
are
don't take
sending
the.
sort of a signal of
No,
These are
not the
okay
hard
here, but
stuff.
as this goes on, they
hitting
start.
softballs.
As this
and
goes
you get
on, they
lots of
start
survey
talking to
data
the
with
journalists you never
benchmark
heard
and
of
things like that.
before.
So we'll
Yeah,
have a
exactly.
picture
It's all
of
these
what's going on.
softball questions.
Yeah. All right. That's enough of that. Let me switch screens around here a little bit again. Moment, please stand by for the next available operator. All right. So I got to change that for our people. And then I got to change this here for, go back to Tiki Talk here, back to the real thing here. Let me, Hide that so that I can
Doing
bring
the things, clicking the stuff, and click.
clickety click. You think you can just click one thing, but this is a high end production here. You just can't just go from one thing to the other. You gotta move things around and clickety clack, and I gotta click this button.
I knew they weren't making hundreds of millions. They can't.
There we go. There's the
even click on a
MES
screen.
chart. As you can see, it's just tanking. Look at that money we're making. You people are like, oh my God, the market's crashing. Well, yeah, sure. But guess what? American Dream Trading members know what to do with that information and are filling up their wheelbarrows as we speak.
Mark, did you make some good money today?
A little bit, Coach. I made a few nickels. Yes, sir.
Good job.
Traded gold. I haven't traded since 5 a.m., to be honest with you. I haven't
I
traded.
didn't see your standard screenshot to me. That's why I asked.
Maybe. Well, look in the futures.
Got your yesterdays, which is ridiculous. Nice job.
Yeah, today I traded my large account again. If you go look at gold starting at 2 a.m. Eastern time today, that'll tell you how I did. I rode that bad boy. I rode that donkey. Yeah, sir, I did.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. I don't have my donkey on here. Well, we'll just have to go with the piggy.
I got you, Chief.
All right.
What the hell was that?
That was our piggy when we were trading lean hogs.
Okay, well,
This
little piggy went to the market.
Yeah. Well, when we're trading live cattle, I got one for that too. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. This is a high-end show here. We don't spare no expense here. Put this on.
I got to up my game, try to keep up with this.
Oh, yeah. I got me my big old 40-foot wide stream deck system going on here. Oh, yeah. Thousands and thousands of sounds. And for those who get distracted once in a while. Squirrel! So what's a good one there, Coach? What's going on? What's happening? What's the latest going on that we need to know about?
Nothing much. I knew that it would be a quarter basis points. He really didn't have a choice at this point. So
Correct.
I knew that was going to happen. Now, I didn't know Bozo, Bozo the clown, was going to say that. He don't know what's going to happen to December.
Right.
Okay, genius.
Yep. And the markets went boink as soon as he said that.
I do, because we're going to continue to cut jobs that are not needed is where all those the job losses are coming from.
Yeah, I wonder where those are all at.
All them unneeded freaking jobs.
Yeah, it sucks to be you if you work in that sector.
Diabetes assistant helpers, so they can go.
Yep.
They're out.
Yep. So
the cricket mating recession training team, they're out. There's 47,000 jobs out.
Poor crickets. Everybody hates crickets. What's up with that? Why does everybody always pick on the crickets?
I knew they were a scam. They hated crickets. Yep. So they're out.
Look at these glorious charts, Coach. Look at the money your members are making today. This is another $1 billion trading day for our members.
Yes.
Yeah. What's going on in the membership promos? Anything special you want that we don't already know about?
You missed it earlier. I went.
Oh, no, you didn't. You didn't sell the giveaway the farm again, did you?
I went.
Are you off your meds again, Coach?
I said, listen, all you guys got to do is ask, right? I said, it's not going to hurt to ask. I said, we'll do payment plans. And somebody asked me on TikTok, they said, Coach, is there any kind of deal you can do for your veterans and military people? I said, oh, here we go.
There you go.
I gave them a 50% off across the board. Everything we had.
No way.
Everything 50% off of, including diamonds, one-on-ones, which I already had reduced to $3,000. I mean, I'm talking the farm. 50%.
You're going to have to go get a part-time job at McDonald's flipping fries.
I know it.
Holy cow. Poor Bruno.
Yep.
Oh, my.
It was busy. I only had it for about 15 minutes, but it got fast and I was not leaving that open.
Oh, no. I mean, we thought we gave away the farm while you were gone. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was nice. But, it's good to give back to our military family and anybody that's helping out, first responders. So everybody got a fat discount. Now, ES here, forming a boot. We got a boot.
Got a boot. You know where the boot goes sometimes.
The boot.
Look at that. That's a nice round bottom there.
Yep.
We like them nice round bottoms. Can't speak for everybody, but I
Apple
know I
bottom
do. That's
jeans.
money.
Yep, apple bottom jeans right there.
There you go.
Boots with the fur. The whole world was looking at her.
There we go. Look at
He
that.
hit the flow.
Look at
Next
that.
thing you know,
Now, what we're talking
Shorty
about, we're
got
talking.
low.
This is what you want to see for a possible reversal. You like to see that nice rounding, right?
Yep.
It's not as violent as a straight down, straight up bounce. This is nice, steady energy coming in, volume coming in,
Yep.
right?
gotta
Doesn't mean
break
it's
and
going to
hold that
reverse and go all the way
21.
back up, but there's a potential for it to gain a lot of that back, and it wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised. if it
notice
does.
it's probably right when he stopped opening his mouth, right?
Yeah.
I bet it was. I bet as soon as he's gone, it'll be like, oh, okay, business as usual. Shing.
Well, he's probably taking
Spy
a question
green.
from Boy's Life Reporter now, so you know. All the important reporters ask their questions.
He's gonna announce it just like the little kids, the TikTokers, right? They would be like, well, we'll either lower it or not.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yep, we
That-
talked
that's
about how
great.
he talks out of both sides of his mouth. Yep.
Oh, he does too. Yep.
Yeah. And I get it, you know. Everybody
Yeah,
hangs
yeah,
on every
he's
word.
covering
Just
his butt.
the minute he said December, I don't know, markets went whoosh.
Oh yeah, look at that candle. That candle is him opening his mouth.
Yep. Had more of a reaction to the press conference than we did to the actual news release at 2:00. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's why I say, right, the news will always trump everything else going on for sure.
hey, is anybody on our live social feeds? Here's your chance to ask Coach a question if you want to type it into your live
crap, I
social.
gotta work?
Go on,
Oh.
you got about 5 minutes, and you know this man's busy.
boy.
He ain't got all day to hang out here with us. You know,
Boy.
he's already mad we're taking half his membership and bringing him over here in the future. So you know he's a little touchy when he
You
comes
guys
over
keep
here.
making that kind of money, it'll probably be more than half. Shoot.
Yeah, did you go over and look in the
You guys got the
lounge there yet?
wheelbarrows out.
Did you go look at
Backing
the
the
lounge?
trucks up.
Go over into Discord, look in the Futures Lounge, Coach. I posted
I
it
know
earlier.
it. You guys are rolling in the doughs.
Oh,
Making
we
the
had
fat
a
loops.
member kill it in oil today. Rode it up, rode that donkey up, rode that
Yes.
donkey down for nearly $6,000
Oh my
profits.
gosh.
Yeah.
What the frick?
We won't
man?
say who it is, but let's just say you have a hard time hearing when that person talks, understanding what
Yeah,
she's
that's
saying.
phenomenal. Speaking of that, F2, one of our members over there, raked in over 11 grand this morning
Oh.
in 18 minutes. It took him 18 minutes.
Wow.
Yep.
Good
Then he had to
job.
go do his 9 to 5 job.
Yeah. That's got to be hard to do. He's been
Oh,
like
for
that
sure.
every day almost now. I mean, to go and show up.
Oh,
But he's got
yeah.
goals though. He's playing
Yeah,
it
yeah.
smart. You know, he's doing
Yeah,
it the way
nothing
he
wrong
should.
with that.
Right?
Stack it up.
He's got a
Stack it up. He
plan.
did over 100K last week.
Wow, good for him.
100K plus last week. That's nice. And he was going to quit 8 months ago.
Yeah. Now look at him.
I bet he's like, ooh. That's how it always is, though, right? Once you turn the corner, you're like, thank God I held in.
Yep. So
You gotta
yeah,
go through the rough sometimes to get to the good stuff. You know what I'm saying?
yep. Yeah, we talked about that very thing today, and things you can do once you arrive. You know, when you think you have
Yep.
arrived, put it that way. Or we all have our own definition of success, right? But
Yep.
and what we can
absolutely.
do with that success. So
Yeah, so we got a couple more millionaire possibles coming up. We got F2, who's hot on the heels of David. David is right now currently, I think he's about 60 grand away from the $1 million mark. So
there you go.
it's a race. There goes the pop we were looking for on
Yep.
ES right there, partner.
There it is. That's how we do it.
That's nice. That's a nice pop right there.
Are you not entertained?
Yes.
Are you not entertained?
Yes.
And you're getting us all for free. Imagine what you could get with a paid membership.
Oh my gosh, that would be redonkulous. Actual training the whole damn time, all day, all night.
Up to 12 hours per day, Monday through Friday, and we trade on Saturdays and Sunday nights.
Nice. There we go. Come on, ES, make that move, baby.
This
you know
is
what you got to
NQ.
do.
Looking
Look
at
at
NQ,
that.
she's making the same move. Billy Mack
Yep.
over on the YouTubes. Can we look at YouTube chart, see what we see? Well, I see the same thing ES does. Nice rounded
with
bottom.
gold.
What you want to
Yep.
see? That's money in your pocket right there.
Yeah, gold's doing the same thing, Mark. Check it out.
There it is. It's not quite as nice, but it's there. Yes, doing the same
We
thing.
got a little elf foot. It's a little elf boot.
Yep. Let's take a look at the
Not
Russell.
quite the bull bottom, but look at
Look at
ES.
the Russell. Look at-
Hello.
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 That's money.
Uh-huh.
Money. You know what this is like, Coach? This is like taking money from a baby.
It really
Candy.
is.
Making babies cry all over the world.
That's the market right there crying because we're taking so much damn money from it.
Wow.
That's nice right there on ES. Mark, tell me you're in a little dab will do you. A little
No,
take.
I'm not. I'm done trading for the day. I made that decision
Okay.
earlier.
Good job.
So I sat out. We did training. We did talking. We talked
Nice,
about
nice.
making money. We talked about the psychology of training. We talked about all kinds of different things. Covered people's trades and questions about the EWO. There's this guy on the YouTubes and TikToks, this coach guy. He's got a 2-minute EWO trading strategy that's just fantastic. And our members are over here in their futures using it here also. And it works fantastic. And some of them are falling in love with it. Others are.
I heard it's snake oil. Somebody told me it's a flim
it's not
flam.
snake oil. It's the real deal. It's
I'm
the real
going back
dealio.
to Fibonacci retracements.
No, none of that.
Bollinger
2-minute EW.
bands,
No. We don't.
RSI indicators.
Not that one either. We don't use that.
That's what I'm doing.
That's for the tick toddlers. We don't do that. Oh, wait a minute. I'm a
doing
tick
it.
toddler.
Now listen, gang, on ES, you're going to be watching for 69.28.
Yep.
50.
Well, it gets right up here.
Yep, you're going to be watching that for resistance. That's a lot of resistance.
Yep. We got the 200 sitting up here. We have the. Yep. See them all sitting up there.
Yep.
The
Gold's
VWAP,
still
the
making that
VWAP, and
move to
the
upside.
VWAP and the 200, man, they're right there together, neck and neck. Boy, if it can break through that before the day's over, watch out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like I said, don't be surprised you see SPY go green, right? Since Big Mouse off the air.
Yeah, that's all right. One thing about it, Coach, we learned how to make money when the market goes down. We learn how to make money when the market goes up, and we even know how to make money when the market goes sideways. We will make money. We don't care. My 3 hairs don't care. We will make money.
There it goes.
Absolutely.
Hey,
all right,
there's
listen,
one.
everybody, I'm out of here. You guys are in amazing hands. Everybody stay blessed. God bless. I appreciate you all being here. Gold's still running to the upside. That's nice. Use your stops on all of this stuff, right? Don't get your butts handed to you. You still know the rules. You've got about 1 minute and 50 seconds to power hour.
Yep.
So you're going to get volumes going to be coming in again. So everybody be cool. Love your faces. I'm out of here. Mark, appreciate you, buddy. See you.
Thank you.
See you.
Come back when you can stay longer.
Absolutely. See you.
See you.
And he's gone. Is today's session recorded? Yes, it is. I never shut the recording off, so the entire day is recorded. Oh, they're going to be mad about that. That takes a lot of space.
To be clipped.
Right. What's that?
Have that clipped. Because what you do is in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, kind of about clipping it.
Yeah, getting rid of that.
Okay.
Because everybody that watches is going to find out.
Well, I didn't mention, I didn't say anything, one way or the other. Yep. So.
I just meant about your private life.
All right. Well, that's not available to unpaid members, though. That's all right.
It's okay.
Yep, it's okay. It's only for paid members will be able to. It's not posted. It's just recorded. Yes, we'll probably, as they get time, they'll pull snippets out if we ask them to. If not, if I don't specifically ask them to, or one of the other moderators, then it won't get done. It'll just sit there, and eventually, after 30 days, it self-destructs and auto erases. So, yeah. Thank you for your concern. It's okay. Appreciate it. Look at the Dow. Got that nice rounded bottom. That's what you want to see after a nice pullback, right? That it's slowly, it's not a violent thing. It's a nice, steady, gives people time to jump in, take advantage of the retracement. So what would have been the entry for catching the rally? Well, right here at this double. But was there a double bottom here? That's one of the things you look at, right? Where was the bounce point? Now, The thing that's different about this is this was an event-driven drop, right? By him opening his mouth. But if you look back here, where did this bounce off? Well, if you look back here, did it not have this is a double bottom here? And I'm sure if you go back even further, you might find other points where this bounced up, right? So having your chart charted out, now I don't have a line there myself personally on this because I don't, I haven't been trading NQ for a while, so my charts aren't really up to date on it. But, right there is a double bottom. You can see how that bounced right off that, right? So having your chart effectively up to date, you can take advantage of these things, right? And you can, as you approach these points of interest, it may not have stopped at this level, but it may stop at the next level, right? So having your chart up to date is important, right? Because now you have your roadmap of points of decision that I can be aware of to trade off of, right? We talk about that all the time, having good charts. And that's a skill that you develop over time, and we teach that here. Holy cow! Member over there that just posted in the Zoom, and the mister that just posted. You few people, paid members, would see, or the unpaid members could see what our paid members are posting in profits. It is phenomenal. Look at those numbers. One member posted that this individual raked in $19,400.45 profit on this movement. Another member posted the P, and these are actual P&Ls. What's that say? $5,820. Bang, bang. That's how we do it here. We were rolling into money because we knew this was going to happen. Now, we don't know which way the market was going to go, but our members were able to react accordingly, right? So, there we go. And we had other members, 1,191 for the day. We had $565.50. These are just some of the members that are sharing. Not everybody shares. They're more private. $610.45. So another member made $5,508.50 earlier. So yes, they're doing very well. And congratulations to all of you that enjoyed that success today. Some of them actually I suggested that I do paper trade it to learn how, right? It's just highly volatile. Unless you're an experienced trader, you have no business being in here right now, right? It's a very quick way of wrecking your account, all right? So you have all day. You have 260 some days a year you can trade. Don't destroy your account on one day and one moment in that day's time. It's not worth it. It's better to react to the news after that. Next couple of days, you probably see some market volatility, right? It may be good, may go all the way up, it may go all the way down. There might be some craziness going on. But if you focus on your trading and what you've been taught and get in, get out as you need to, right? You can be locking up possibly some substantial profits over the next few days, right? So just keep that in mind. This is a news event driven thing. The biggest thing that caused the market to drop was one sentence out of his mouth, right? What did the markets do when he said, we're cutting the rates? It shot up initially, right? Then it pulled down, and then it kind of just hovered there for a few minutes, didn't it? And then he said the word, I don't know what we're doing in December. It's not a foregone conclusion, right? Well, that ain't what the market wanted to hear. They wanted to know that we think, because sometimes they will project that we may. Now, what you're going to get, now that they're done, see with I believe is it 10 days, 7 days? I forget. Before this meeting, they don't go out, and they're not allowed to go out and publicly talk, right? Because somebody may snooker them into revealing what their thoughts were. Now that this meeting's over, the Fed governors and the members of the board will be able to go out and go to their economic summits, their economic luncheons, and they'll be able to actually say what they want to say. They're free to say whatever they want, right? Some of them may have been for cuts. Some of them may have been against it. Some may be for cuts in December. Some may be against it, right? They all are entitled to their opinion. And the reason for that is because they're not just, they all represent a district. The United States is divided up into regions, right? And just like it would be in the Congress, right? They all represent their area that they live in and represent, whether it's the state senators or House of Representatives that are representing individual districts. It's the same thing with the Federal Reserve. There's one of them that's appointed that does the San Francisco area. There's one that does it in the Cleveland area, and so on and so forth. So different parts of the country will have different economic things going on. What's working in California may not work in Texas. What works in Texas may not be working in Massachusetts, right? So that's why they have all these members. There's 19 of them actually involved in this decision-making process, right? And they all form their opinions based on the region that they're representing. They look, Texas may be hiring people like crazy, and Boston may be shutting factories down, right? Those type of things. So regionally across the country, they experience different things. Some are good, some are booming, some are bust, right? So that what they do though is they all meet together and they go over, my region is this, my region is that. We see this in our area, we see that in our area, right? So then they have to come, of course, they have to vote, right? And come to some sort of consensus. They won't all agree, but they do have to come to some sort of a decision, right? With the Fed chairman ultimately, guiding the decision, right? So that's why, you may be having a great paying job in your city you live in. Maybe just everybody there is nicely employed, and you can go, a few states over in your city, 25 or 50% of your town's unemployed, right? You can see that. All you gotta do is drive across America. You'll see feast and famine, right? Even in your own state, your own counties. So it depends where you go. So that's what they do. That's why it's just not an automatic cut and dry type of thing. Yeah, we pretty much guessed that they were going to drop the rate 25 basis points is what they call, which is 1/4% interest rate drop. And all that is what they charge banks to borrow money, right? Overnight rates, basically. Yes, it will affect mortgage rates down the road, but that's not what really drives the treasury bonds. The bond market's what drives your overall interest rate. But yes, it does have a longer term effect of driving overall interest rates for borrowing is. Ones that's really interested in that is the Russell, right? They're the ones that's required small cap. They don't have a lot of money laying around to where they can just, go in their safe in the back room and take money out to fund their operations. So they have to borrow money. So they're even more interested in smaller companies because they have to borrow money rather than using their cash reserves because they usually don't have any, right? So it'll be interesting over the next few days to see what our members can do with this information and how they're going to capitalize on it. And they will trade the trades in front of them. They're not going to care if the market goes up. They're not going to care if the market goes down. And guess what? Even though it's harder, they're not going to care if the market goes sideways. But the one thing I can assure you, our paid members will slay the market. They will make very good money the next few days, as they do every day, right? So that's part of the training that you receive here at American Dream Trading. You're not going to get that training watching these lives. Paid membership has its privileges, and we provide training. If you have a live Zoom call each and every day, and you heard our members open their mics, they can open their mics anytime and ask questions. Matter of fact, we talked about one subject probably on one question, a good half hour, 45 minutes with one member today. And that happened multiple times today. And we covered a whole range of, like I say, we talked about individual trades, why it was good or why it was bad, or what did we see, what type of strategies that different individuals wanted to, what they thought, suggestions, right? So we deep dived into a lot of subjects today. I learned, it reaffirms things in my mind too that, I may let slide a little bit. Hey, well, I'm doing this exact same thing we're telling him not to do, right? And it helps reel myself into my trading. I can get to be a sloppy trader sometimes, right? And I take trades I know I shouldn't, right? So it's very good. Paid membership has its privileges, and we do train up to 12 hours per day here at American Dream Trading. Head on over to our website right now. You'll see all those special promotions that are currently in effect. And while you're there, grab our free Discord. You do not have to have a paid membership to have our Discord. Or if you had a membership and you don't want to have it anymore, you can still keep the Discord, right? It's not required. What is required is that if you are a member or a free trial member, you do need the Discord because that is where we post our live Zoom links every morning. And you have to be able to click on them to get into the lives because you're registered through that Discord, and that's how you get into our paid live meetings. You can't just come in from the outside and sneak in unless you have the link for it, right? Redbeard asks, where's the best place to trade? Well, I mean, it's, what do you like? You like futures? You like crypto? You like trading stocks and options? There's all kinds of different avenues for trading. If you're talking about what platform you can trade on, there's hundreds and hundreds you can choose from. I'm partial to Webull and Trade-Of-8 myself because those are the two I used. I've been with the big boys when I first started. That's where all my money was at until I picked up Webull, right? So it's whatever you like. If you're in something already, there's no real reason to change unless you compare and look at the other brokers, right? So anyway, if you want to give it a shot, what we want you to do, we don't want you trading real money. We want you to get trained first. We're an education and training company here. They've been in business. The coach has been in business for 5 years. He's been live every day for the last 3+ years, right? Trained hundreds of thousands of people, right? We have one of the largest trading communities of its type. We're not a call-out group. We don't tell you what to buy and what to sell, and when to buy it, when to sell it. We educate you on how to make those decisions on your own, and that takes time. And you want to get trained up before you start even thinking about throwing money in the market, right? Because all that is a recipe for failure, right? It's hard enough when you know what you think you know what you're doing, let alone trying to do it when you have no clue what you're doing. So let's not get the cart before the horse. Let's get your training up first. The biggest and best investment you can make is investing in your education, right? Ben Franklin said over 250 years ago, investment in one's education pays the greatest dividends, right? Take the time to learn to do it. Don't get the cart for the horse, as we say, right? So there's a reason for that, right? I've been doing this for 3 years, but I got my education, right? Did I do dumb things I knew I shouldn't have before I was educated? Yep. That's why I speak with authority on that. Don't do that, right? Get to training first. Don't make the mistakes that I made thinking I was smarter than everybody else. I can do this. I've seen Coach do it a couple of times on the live I watched for free. I can do that. Anybody can do that. That ain't hard. Guess what? It is. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, right? The old saying. And it's true here also, right? So do yourself a favor. Take the time, get your education. We always tell people joining American Dream Trading, don't even think about funding a live trading account. You want to come in and listen, take notes, ask questions. Listen, take notes, ask questions as you build your skills over time. How long does that take? That's up to you, right? Everybody learns at a different rate. We've had a gentleman come in here years ago, made $1 million his first month. Well, why is that? Well, for whatever reason, how he was trading, it resonated right away, and he was able to take it and apply it to his trades, right? That's a unicorn. That doesn't happen. That's not the norm, right? Coach has even said he'd rather have people not trade for at least 6 months to a year. But we can't stop you from trading, right? We have no control whether you enter a trade or not. All we can do is offer educated advice, and that would be get to education first. Learn how to do this. Then once you learn some of the basics and you build upon precept, then you can try to take those skills that you've learned at that point in your training and apply them into paper trading. You can practice those skills, put them into action, and it'll show you your flaws, right? So we see too many people come in here and think they're going to slay the market and start throwing a bunch of money in, and the next thing you know, they're gone because they blew up their account the first week they were here, right? So, matter of fact, we had a paid member the other day shared with us that he blew up about 92% of his account. He's still here though. He's hanging in there. He's refocusing on what he should be doing. He did things he knew he shouldn't to start with. When it came right down to it, Coach does have basic rules you need to follow, and those are meant to preserve your account. So we all make mistakes. Have I lost lots of money? Yes, I have. I've had some big losses, right? And 95% of them were my own fault because I did what I knew I shouldn't have done. Or I wasn't educated enough to be doing the type of trades I was doing, right? I had no idea the danger that I was putting my family's account into at the time. So, good. All right. Well, right there, Chicken Nugget over in the YouTube live chat says he almost quit at one point, right? He's still here and has turned into a very successful trader. He's still in his journey. He's still learning every day. But the training is actually paying off for him. He's over in our YouTube live chat. All right. Let's see. Let me scroll back up here through TikTok real quick, kind of catch up because we was listening to what was going on here. Again, this was a different type of day. We were listening to the Federal Reserve meeting on the decision to change interest rates. Is this an NFP? I have no idea what an NFP. Doug, do you know what an NFP is? I don't know what that was asked a long time ago. This is live trading. We do live trade here. This is futures, right? Andrew had a very good day today. Said he made 15K. Congratulations to you, sir. What's the plays? We already did that. Yes, he did reduce the interest rates by 0.25%. Dang, that was a lot of words. Yes, well, you know, he's highly educated and he has to be careful what words he uses, right? And he does talk out of both sides of his mouth. There's more to going in. It's not just say, oh, okay, we're going to drop the interest rates, right? More people are back to work or less people are back to work or whatever, right? There's a lot that goes into that decision. Whether you like the guy or not, he does have one of the toughest jobs. And as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not passing judgment, I have my own opinion on him, believe me. This is a very powerful position to be in because not only are you adjusting interest rates for the United States, it also has lasting effects across the entire world economy. And why is that? Because the entire world economy is tied to the U.S. dollar. In spite of what you think, the dollar is still king, right? You want to see the euro go down, we'll watch the dollar go up. What's that? Okay. All right. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to share that. This, you know, this only happens every quarter, basically. A little soon. Callie, if you have something, how about typing it in there? We can understand you a little bit better there. I'm not going to comment on, you already heard the opinion of Coach, but it's not, I'm not talking about the individual person, but rather the position. In my opinion, is one of the most powerful positions in the world because everybody leans on every word that comes out of his pie hole, right? So, and it does affect the world economy because we are all tied together. So, all right. So yeah, Redbeard, get your training first, right? Hang out here in these lives, free lives, if that's what you want to do, as long as you want. But you're only going to learn so much about this, right? We're only giving you the tip of the iceberg. If you really want to know what goes on here at American Dream Trading in detailed, you can get the full privileges of membership for absolutely free for 7 days. You'll get access to all our training materials and documents. You get live Zoom training and training starting at, if you do the premium, at 8:45 a.m. That's with Coach and the other training moderators from 8:45 a.m. Eastern Time through 4 p.m. You have the crypto live training membership absolutely free, also for 7 days. They have live Zoom training, 7:15 p.m. on Wednesday nights, and occasional pop-up ones during the week, depending on their schedules. And we also have the futures, which you're listening to here. You're training with the moderators here starting at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time through 4 p.m. every day, Monday through Friday. And for our VIP members, we also train on Sunday nights. We have live Zoom session where we train and trade also together. So again, we're not telling people what to buy or sell. We don't do that. We're training you to make those decisions on your own. Why would you want to be dependent on some random old dude on the internet like me, right? Or some kid that's still going through puberty like he's a master trader, right? Doesn't have real life experience, right? I'm not bad-mouthing anybody in particular. I'm just saying, right? And how do you know what's coming out of my pie hole has any more value than anybody else's, right? Well, come and see, right? Come and listen to Coach's training. I try to do my best to say everything that Coach has taught me, right, in the manner that he taught us, right? You know, Coach was making fun of the Fibonacci retracement. We don't use that here. That's not one of our indicators that we use as part of American Dream Trading. Can you use the Fibonacci retracement if you want to on your chart? Most certainly, right? Does it have value? Well, it probably does. A lot of people use it, right? We don't, right? We try to keep it simple and keep as many things off our screen as possible. Now, you see my screen's got a lot of stuff on there, and that's because I share my screen, right? I just kind of like showing different things at one time. So mess. My screen can get very crowded sometime. In fact, there was so much on there earlier today, I couldn't stand it. I had to turn half the stuff off, right? Because there's a lot of things you can put on a chart, and all you do is confuse yourself. Try to keep it as simple as possible while still giving you the information you desire. And if you like to fib, have at it. But we don't talk about it. You know, we don't deny it's there. But Coach has been there, done that over his last 33 plus years in the markets, and he's kind of watered it down to things that he knows works. And I can assure you, I know they work because I use what Coach teaches it, and it's been very nice to my bank account also, right? So anyhow, head on over to our website, which is American Dream Trading, right? Grab them memberships. There's the 3 free trials, or you can take advantage of the other promos that are going on there also, right? They do have a little poll going on over there on our YouTube chat. If you want to answer that question, you can. There's just only a couple people voting right now. You can jump in on that and answer that little poll if you like. It's anonymous, of course. All right, so if you have any other questions, feel free to type them into your free social media chat box there. We'll try to do our best to answer them as time allows. Markets have calmed down substantially now, right? Initial shock is over with. It was trying to make a swing back up, but it kind of lost its energy. As expected, it's the end of the trading day. People took their profits and are probably going home for the day, let the markets react, right? Don't want to risk their accounts. What was the issue? Just my opinion. One of our social media feeds, and it so happens to be the one you're on, does not like you saying that or redirecting people to a different site because they're overly controlling on, and I get it, on scammers, right? They may think you're redirecting them to a site where you could possibly get scammed. You know what I mean? Right? That's why when you buy stuff off of this one social media feed that you're on, there's one store for everybody that they all sell off of, right? And that's a way of controlling scammers, right? Not that scammers can't set up accounts there, but it does help somewhat, right? And you have recourse to that they'll help you, right? So if we use those certain hot button words, right, we get restricted on our account and it doesn't get put out there. You know, you can actually get your account canceled. One of the gentlemen I follow on TikTok he still does, but he had over close to 4 million viewers, right? Been around on TikTok for been around for a long time, and people did a concentrated effort and kept reporting him, and he wasn't saying anything wrong, but you know, that's all it takes sometimes. Or you say the wrong thing, and his main account got banned. He can't even go back into it. So he had to start all over, right? And get the word out. Here I am. I'm over here now, right? So, you know, it gets very aggravating. And all your free stuff has a right. You're using their software. You have to abide by their terms of service. Sometimes what their terms of service is cloudy, right? Depending on which one you're on. And certain ones have rules that the other ones don't, right? You know, on the one that you're on now, you can play different music on there, right? But if I go over to this other social media platform and I play music on that, we're going to get banned. We're going to get a copyright strike. They're more strict on those type of things, right? So you have to know. There's a lot you have to know to be able to broadcast out to multiple social media platforms, and it's ever changing and it's ever confusing, and you know. So we're trying to be careful, right? Matter of fact, we had one of our own accounts that our main account got banned, but that was our own fault because we were doing something we didn't realize you weren't allowed to do. We actually got ourselves banned. Right? It wasn't people complaining. It was what we were doing there because we were ignorant there on what we shouldn't do, right? So, you know, those things happen, right? So we open up, you know, another account is basically, right? But when you do that, it causes confusion and people got to find your new account and all that, right? So that's one of the things they don't like doing. So that's why we don't say it out. You know, we all know what websites generally end in, right? .com. So when I just say go to our website, American Dream Trading, for further information and details, you know what to add to the end of the website, right? So, or if you just type that in, it'll bring it up into search, right? So, thanks for the question, though. All right, what else we have? Chad H, thanks for that super chat. Appreciate it. Oh, made 5.8% in his total account today. Wow. That is huge. And he managed to snag $660 during this wildness in the Fed meeting. Outstanding. And he notes that he has a diamond membership. He said diamond membership for the win. Things that he learned by having the diamond membership, which is our top tiered membership. It includes all of our memberships, most of our a la carte products, all in one membership package. Pay once, never ever pay again. And I believe those are, what, $5,000 one-time payment, I believe. Go to our website for further details, right? What he learned in there.
Yes, 5,000 right now.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Yep. Yeah, all right. For the record, we had a business accountant. We were doing, they didn't like the giveaway we were doing. We didn't really do technically, legally, anything wrong. It was the giveaway we were doing they didn't like. Thank you for that clarification, sir. All right. Thank you for the kind words there, Drewski. All right. All right. So our members did well today. They did well early this morning. They did well during this meeting. But only the experienced ones took advantage of the trading during this time because we highly encourage them not to trade real money during this time. Now, they can paper trade. Some of them did, and they posted their P&L on those also. But we try to not make a distinction between paper trading and real trading when people post profits sometimes. At least I do. We do this this is our little thing we do in futures. Because I don't want people thinking it's less than, right? If you're paper trading successfully, it says you're starting to understand the trading principles. You understand the mechanics, the buttons that you got to, press to successfully enter and exit a trade, right? And how quick can you react and those type of things. What do you see in the trade that made you want to enter the trade? What do you see in the trade that makes you want to get out of the trade, right? All those things that go together. So over here in futures, we've just been doing a thing. People want to say it's paper trading. That's fine, right? I tell you this rate you see here is paper trading. I tell you that live. I do trade it live. I don't trade my live account because I'm too distracted and I'm not about to ruin my family's personal income while I'm training right live here, right? You know what I mean? So there's no reason for it. I got all day to trade to make money. I don't need to worry about doing it right now, right? The times I have done it, it has cost me money. And I have made money also trading live here in front of everybody. I do trade live in front of our paid members most of the time. Today I didn't. I didn't. Like I say, I was done trading at 5 a.m. this morning. I traded from 2 a.m. to. Thanks for being here, Vanette. Good to see you. Have a great day. Why is that person leaving out? Because they have freedom of time. They can come and go as they please. One of the great things about being a trader, as long as you have an internet connection, you can trade anywhere, and you have that freedom of time. I could stop anytime I want, right? If I don't want to do anything today, I don't do it. If I want to trade for 12 hours, I can do it, right? You have that freedom. In futures market, it gives you 23 hours a day. So I can trade in early morning. I can trade during the open market with the New York Stock Exchange. I can come back at 6 p.m. tonight when the market reopens, and I can trade during the Tokyo session and all that, right? All night long. So there's all kinds of possibilities in the futures market. Same thing goes with the crypto market. Crypto market's even 1 hour better, and you can trade on the weekends also with crypto. You can trade 24 hours a day there. There's a reason I do that. I already spent enough time in futures. If I started trading crypto, my wife would not be nearly as understanding as she is now. So, and my members read between the line on that. They know what I mean by that. So, anyway, Russell's pulling back. It's broken held below the 9. It is at a minor double bottom here. See right here, these ones here. That's break and hold below this in here, and then you have some down here. So it's not a clear signal to the downside. It has to break through these critical levels. Even though I don't have a line, I can look backwards and see here, right? And we're diddling in the middle of that trade. So, any other questions? Quest, thank you for that. Yes, he also said diamond for the win. Thank you for that super chat. Way to go. All right. Appreciate them super chats. Give you a special shout out for them. Appreciate the acknowledgement. All right. By the way, I don't know if he's still in here or not. Bucko, are you still over there in the TikToks? If you have any questions about crypto, feel free to ask them over there in your TikTok. I realize we're talking about futures, but if Bucko's still in there, he's one of the training moderators over in our crypto program. Highly knowledgeable, excellent trainer. I'm amazed every time I hear him talk about crypto, the things he knows. Him and Chris is our other main crypto moderator. Between them two, I'll tell you what, it's just mind-melding of information that they have, right? So, yes, Bucko is there. Oh, yeah. Oh, today is Wednesday, isn't it? Wow, this is another reason to get that free trial membership today. Get that crypto membership. You can join Bucko and Chris and all the other members that's in crypto memberships for live crypto memberships starting at 7:15 tonight. I forgot today was Wednesday. Lost track of what day it was. So you can take immediate advantage tonight of crypto training. And guess what? It's in a live Zoom call. So you need the Discord also. So get that also. You have to have both because that's where the links are posted. It's absolutely free, and you can keep it even after you trials up. Membership's not required for a Discord. Also in our Discord, you can interact with other members, right? And talk about trading in there also in the privacy of a Discord. So, yes, so grab that free 7-day trial or a flat-out paid membership for crypto, and you can get immediate tonight at 7:15 live Zoom call with an open mic. You can ask your questions or your heart's desire. Those two will stay there until the cows come home sometimes, right? Last week you guys were there for over 4 hours. Now, that's not the norm, but, you know, things were going like they were going, and they hung in there and stayed in there, right? So, exciting time tonight, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Head on over to our website, American Dream Trading, right? And sign up for that free 7-day crypto trial. You might learn something. Oh, I guarantee you'll learn something. No doubt in my mind. Goldie, congratulations. Got the Diamond membership today. Can't wait to take advantage. Well, get yourself a bottle of, get yourself a cold compress and maybe some Tylenol because, man, the amount of information will make your brain hurt. Your brain will melt if you go, I don't know if you've had the chance to go into the Discord yet in the Diamond because you get access to everything. Just skim through all that. So look at all the things that's available to you. It's unreal. It's literally overwhelming the amount of information that's available to our Diamond members. It's just, I don't even have time to go through the stuff myself. There's so much. It is recorded though. I can go in and look at past recordings. Anything we've ever created and recorded and posted is in there. So not only did you get to see the things from here on out, you get to go back in time and watch everything. All that training and the mentorship classes a coach does. All those things in there. It's unreal. It really is. Wealth of information. Not only is there training in there from coaches, there's training in there from other moderators, other members that are skilled in what they're talking about. There's all kinds, a whole wide gamut of things in there. Everything talking about stock options, crypto, futures, you name it. It's in there. And you have the golden ticket to get in there and look at it all and watch it all at your leisure. A lot of learning to be done in there. And you never ever have to pay again. That's the great thing, right? You don't have to worry about price increases. You don't have to worry about forgetting a payment when your payment's due. It's all there. Never, ever pay again. Congratulations, by the way, Goldie. Congratulations. Here, you know what you need? Here, you need a, where's the clap at? Where's my clap? What the heck? Did it get deleted or what? No, anyway. Huh. Oh, well. Anyhow, congratulations. I don't have a clap on this one. I don't know what happened. Anyway, it's gone. Yeah, let us know here in a couple weeks once your brain's done melting, what you think. After a few weeks being new to it. I always laugh when people talk. Holy cow, they can't believe what stuff's in there. The information's just mind melding. Again, tonight, live Zoom trading, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Grab them free crypto memberships by heading over to our website, American Dream Trading, right now. Am I hard selling you something? No, I'm trying to give away free membership for a week. Get it now. So, what are you waiting on? All right, you get to see what's behind the curtain. And we also have the premium. If you like stock and stock options, we have those. And if you like futures, we have them also. I definitely would grab the crypto. You get to use it immediately tonight for the live Zoom call. Right? They cover all kinds of subjects. Anything crypto in there, that group there just knows their stuff. I learn stuff every time I go in there. I'm not in there all the time, but depending on my schedule, I'm already here more than 12 hours a day as it is, right? So if I get time, I go in there. I'll pop in once in a while. And the times in there, man, I'll tell you what. Wow. So anyway, head on over to our website, American Dream Trading. Grab that free crypto. Take advantage tonight of that. So, questions, go ahead. Feel free to type them in there. All right. So we see the Russells coming down here to a double bottom. What happens at double bottoms? I don't have a half a line there. I can see it right here, right? I can see it could possibly bounce right here. Or it can break through and keep continuing on to the downside. Statistically, right, it will bounce, but we don't know that, right? I have different levels. Matter of fact, I got, what's that line there I got? What is that there? I got a line there. Now it's coming down. I could be playing this to the downside, right? Bang, right? There I am. I'm up $150 right now. Over here, it shows you, right? Bang, bang, up 450. Let me hide these lines again. There we go. Now you can see better. Now I can't see my levels, but that's okay. And I was up $400. Now I'm down 400. See how fast that works? Because why? Statistically, what happens at double bottoms? They bounce, right? They'll maybe go back temporarily, right? Now the trend is down, obviously, but that doesn't mean it's going to continue this way, right? Now I'm down 50. We'll see what happens here. If it's, again, this is paper money. That's the reason I did that. But it is at a level here, right? There's your double bottom. And see where this candle went? Look straight across. It's trying to break through it, but it hasn't broken held through the double bottom. I don't enter trades until they break and hold with a good confirmation candle that starts on the shoulder of the other. This is your break candle. This is your break and hold candle, confirmation candle, some call it. Well, it didn't do that. I jumped into trade without that confirmation candle, and look what's happened. It's pulling back against me. I'm now down $1,400. Not real money, but what if it was, right? That's why you wait on things. There's a lot of waiting goes on in trading. It's not just jump in, click, 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 right? And money rolls in, right? So I jumped in too early and I lose money, right? Shouldn't do that. So I can get out of that. Again, it doesn't matter. It's not real. But I trade this. When I paper trade, even in front of members when I do that sometimes, if I'm not really trading, just take the day off, or I've already made sufficient funds and I'm just going to keep it and relax for the rest of the day and just concentrate on education and trading. I'll trade my paper trading account live in front of them, and we'll walk through things like that. Should I enter this trade? Yeah, well, no, Mark, because it's a double bottom. It has a broken hold. Members already know the answer, right? Because they've been trained. So here's your, oops, didn't click the button. There we go. So I'll draw a line here just for you visually, right? And of course now I got 5,000 lines on there. So there's my double bottom up here, right, where this touched. There's my break, but it didn't break and hold. It did break and hold, but it didn't break and hold above the previous candle. That shows sign of weakness. And as you can see, now it's breaking back up through that area, right? It's going right back. It's retracing. That's why I lost money, because I was impatient and I broke my own entry rule, right? Wait for that confirmation candle, right? So that's what we do, right? See what gold's doing. Gold's continuing to pull, right? So what do I have here? I have a double bottom here at least without looking backwards. Did it break and hold below at any time? Well, there wasn't one on this candle here. Might be a good one. This broke, but it's just kind of hanging there. It didn't break away, right? It's still attached to that last level, that my double bottom. I want to see a candle on the shoulder of the previous. Now, this one might qualify for a downtrend, but I do have the bottom of my trend line. Can I enter this trade here? I can do anything I want, right? I can jump in there. It's getting a little bit. Now, I don't have all the information I need here, but can I make a quick couple bucks here? Yeah, I could, right? It had a little bit of oomph to it, but I don't have my L2 and all the other information. I don't have a lot of lines drawn here either, but I'll still use that information that I have. I don't have a good roadmap though. So it's just kind of hanging out here, right? Is it slowly going to go down? Well, I'm down $8 right now, 18, 16. It's kind of going down, right? I had some oomph. This is a candle on the confirmation of the previous. Shows a little bit of strength at the moment. It's not no guarantee. There is no guarantees in trading. Well, there you go. Now I'm in a green trade, right? Amount doesn't matter. It's just that I made a decision. There I go. I just made, there's $64, $66. I can click and lock this anytime I want, right? See how it fluctuates though with that candle movement, right? So you have to decide when I want to exit that trade. I could have took the money at $66, right? I'd be ahead. Now I'm only up 38, right? So if I'd have been quick on there and clicked that, I would have locked in that money for profit, right? I'll just go ahead and lock that in anyway. It'll probably continue down. My next big thing is right down here and my levels that I have on my chart. So that's how we do that. That was part of my training. I knew to watch for that kind of thing, right? Well, know your levels. Make sure you got good, effective charts. The Dow, do I want to trade the Dow? At the moment, no. It's diddling in the middle of this channel. It is on a downtrend, but you got kind of like a shoe going on here, or a boot, we call it, whatever, right? Looks like a foot, right? You're arching the foot. There's your heel, back of the leg. There's your toes. It's neither going up or down at the moment, right? It's going to have a hard time fighting to the upside, but it could, right? It's more likely to go down because it is in that downtrend. It is below all the indicators. This would be a great trade to the downside if there was a lot of volume right now. However, I need to wait for a clear break and hold down here if I want a better trade, right? Because I have this level down here that has to fight through, and it's not wanting to do that yet. So I'm going to sit. I'm not going to trade that, right? And I already made that decision before I was able to verbalize it. I saw that instantly, knew what I wanted to do based on my training and education I've received from Coach, right? So, here we go. Again, crypto live training, live Zoom call training tonight. You can get that for absolutely free. Sign up for our free crypto membership. And let's get your training on tonight. Get your education.
I'll be there.
You'll be there. All right. I know you. You're there every time, aren't you?
No, this is going to be actually my first one.
Oh, who am I thinking of? I don't know. Okay, never mind.
Thinking of someone.
Yeah, prepare to have your mind melded.
I love that.
Yeah, I do too. Not afraid to look at other things. You know, one thing you're going to find out, I'll guarantee you right now, it'll blow your mind. The principles that you learned here in futures and in stocks, 100% apply to trading crypto. You're going to look at the chart and you'll be able to look at that chart and say, hey, I'd get in right there. But it's crypto. But you'll still be able to see whether it's a good trade or not.
That's awesome.
Depending on, I mean, I realize you don't, you're not big experience, or maybe you are, but you will see that and you'll go, wow, this Coach guy knows his stuff, right? You may be a fairly new member to American Dream Trading, but you'll be amazed from what you've learned already, how that will, you'll see it. I guarantee you.
Yeah, it'll also play out the same.
Yep, I guarantee it. I want to hear about it tomorrow. Let me know if I was right or wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll see you in there. You'll be in there, right?
I got to take a pulse of the neighborhood before I think I'm going to go in there. Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. Pulse
There's a female that lives in my house that's determined that I've spent enough hours doing what I do.
I know exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's got to ask his wife.
Yeah, you know. I'm afraid.
He needs permission.
I do. You should know.
Yep.
You know, and I got enough common sense too that I need to balance things out. Well, I don't have much common sense, but I know I need to balance things out. Does that mean I do it? No. But, and it's not that I don't. I do, right? Depends what's going on. I have to see what plans she has for my life.
Hey, you never know. You might be going on vacation tonight.
Not tonight. I don't want to sleep in the doghouse either, you know?
Well, yeah.
You know, happy wife, happy life. You know what I mean? There we go.
Absolutely.
All right. So, yeah, you do have to have a balance in trading because you could literally trade 24-hour days. If you're in crypto, you could trade 23 hours a day in the futures. You know, in the stock market, you could trade 12 hours a day, right? Starting at 4 a.m. So, and we were there at 4 a.m. I was there at 2 a.m. this morning. And I wasn't the only one. I was chatting up in our Discord channel, Futures channel, with another member. We were yakking back and forth. Yeah, quite frankly, I am tired. I had to actually take a nap today. That was one of the reasons I quit trading 5. I was like, man, I'm tired. It's like, I did very well, but it was an intense trading session for them 2 or 3 hours, 2 to 5, when I finally just said, okay, that's good, right? Things were slowing down a little bit anyway at that time. Things still moved, but so it is mentally exhausting to be that laser focused, right? You find that out the longer you stay in a trade and really evaluating what's going on. It takes a lot of mental energy. You don't want to do it when you're overly tired. You don't want to do it when you're sick. You don't want to do it when you just seen the dog peed all over your carpet, right? Or you had a fight with your significant other, or all kinds of life is just dragging you down. You need to have a right frame of mind when you trade, because it will have a direct impact on the decisions you make, right? You'll find yourself making poor decisions when you're not on your A game. So it's nothing wrong with saying, I'm not feeling it. I probably shouldn't trade today, right? My car just blew up. It's going to cost $1,000. I'm mad about that. And then, the dog bit me and bit the neighbors, and, the wife's mad at me, and my crops dried up and died. And, I'm going to get my phone. The company, they're all standing out on my front porch wanting my money, and the boss is making me work overtime. So there's a lot of things that can draw on you, right? So you don't want to let that affect your trading. So if you're having a bad day, take the day off, right? Catch your breath. Nothing wrong with that. Market will still be here. And if you don't believe that, come over here, American Dream Trading. There's always somebody roaming the halls. I can get on the Discord and ask a question any time of the day and night, and somebody will answer it. And I'm not exaggerating. If you don't believe me, set your alarm for 1:30 in the morning tonight. Go into our free Discord and ask a question. See how fast it gets answered. I'm dead serious. I'm not exaggerating. That's how good we are. We have a large community here. There's always somebody paying attention. I challenge you. I will look at I'll look at 1:30 in the morning if I'm up. Depends what time I wake up. I don't set an alarm. Whenever I wake up, I wake up. I get up and start putting around and do my morning routine, and I come down here and I start trading. If there's something that's worth trading at the time. Everything else is kind of stagnating a little bit now. It's kind of consolidating. We're running out of time here. Now, we are approaching another volatile time, the last part of power hour here, so the next 5 minutes or so, things can get really crazy, so don't just assume things are going to take a nap here, right? If you're in a trade, you shouldn't be in if you're not an experienced trader. See you later there, Mr. T. Over there. Have a great day. His name's not Mr. T. I was just using it so he knows I'm talking about him. What else? So pay attention here. By the way, we're live 3 times a day, if you didn't already know that. Coach is live from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. I'm live here with the futures from 8:30 or from 2 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, and we have the aftermarket show at 4 p.m. In other words, at the top of the hour on our YouTube channel, which is aptly named American Dream Trading. Also on that channel, you'll find over 2,800 training videos that you can watch at your leisure. Oh, Bogdan. Oh, I'm signing up next week. Oh, fantastic. Make sure you say hi. In case you use a different name. Good. Look forward to having you with us. Yeah, take advantage of that. You going with the 7-day trial, or are you going all in? We do have things, right? You've been coming here on a regular basis. Hopefully you picked up a few things. And guess what? We'll do our best to do right by you. Whether you're on the 7-day trial, you have all the membership advantages, all the training, everything absolutely free that a paid member has for up to 7 days. Right? Grab it. Be like Bogdan over there on the YouTube lives. Can't wait. All right. Again, live crypto training tonight, 7:15. I would highly recommend that you grab them free 7-day trials for crypto right now by going to our website, signing up for it, and you can join our live Zoom trading where you can open a mic and ask questions, or you can type your questions, however you like doing it. So thank you. By the way, thanks everybody for being here today. Hopefully you learned something today. You got to experience, if you were here before 2 o'clock, you got to sit through the FOMC meeting where they determined that they were going to drop the interest rates for borrowing from the Fed rate for banks by 1/4%. In other words, 25. They call that 25 basis points, which is 1/4% lower on interest rates. You would think the market liked that, right? Well, they did initially until he opened and said the next sentence, we don't know what we're going to do at our December meeting. They didn't like that at all, right? Well, we can't tell. We don't have the data, right? Well, again, it's just that one sentence caused the market to go the other way. Now, has it recovered most of it? Yeah, kind of, sort of, right? MES is getting close to where it was, right? Over here. So it's popping right now. Now it is at the 200 and VWAP, so be careful right here. This is definitely an area that it can pull or reject or slow down on. So 235, we had that big pull in the market. It's almost all the way back up to there. It's not 100%, but let's take a look at the overall. Actually, the S&P 500 is barely green. It's not really. It's at 0 right now, but it's considered green. The NASDAQ is up 0.4%. The Russell and the Dow are still down 1% and 1/4%, respectively. So, yeah, it doesn't take much. When things are news-driven, it shouldn't surprise you if it comes right back to where it was at before the news happened. That happens a lot, right? Unless it's some really big news that makes it move all in one direction. So anyhow, glad you all could be here today. Glad you got to experience the FOMC meeting. I think it's interesting myself, especially if you listen to the questions and how he answers it, the way he goes about in his mannerisms of answering those questions. I'm sure you all would have a strong opinion on what he's doing and how he's doing his job. Well, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm not saying anything one way or the other. So we're glad you could be here today. We started early, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Immediately following this broadcast, it's automatically posted over on our YouTube channel, which is American Dream Trading. YM. What's YM doing? Circling back up or pulling? Yep. YM. Was you in that place, in that there trade? Hopefully. Nice little movement there. So, anybody you come in contact for the rest of the day until we meet again, try to be an encourager, not a discourager. Try to lift people up instead of tearing them down. We go through enough things in life. You never know that the person you're talking to that's smiling at you right now may not actually be going through a good time, right? You never really know what's behind that smile. So try to be an encourager. Make lasting positive memories with anybody you come in contact, whether it's your friends, your enemies, the person at the dairy counter, right? Somebody at the grocery store bagging your groceries or ringing up your stuff. Try to be nice, right? You know how many people these retail workers get abused by people? I know that for a fact. My wife worked in retail for quite a long time in her early days, and dealing with people is one of the worst things you can do. It's a rough job. They don't pay near enough to put up with the abuse people take. So try to be that person, because the person that was in front of you 5 minutes ago might have been just ripping that go a new one, right? Because he didn't like the way he was moving his food around, right? Well, go in there and encourage him. Smile. Go out of your way. Go over the top and try to encourage somebody. So we will see you, though, like always, on the same time, same bat channel tomorrow, which would be between 2 and 4 p.m. I'm glad you could be here. And we will see you. Goodbye.